If you are someone who is preparing for CAP or JAP interviews, then this video is for you. Hi, I am Rishikesh Mukherkar, currently a student at IIM Lucknow, and you are watching the academic Voyager. In this video, I will be sharing my in-depth experience about the CAP interview that I appeared for. This year there is a slight difference. Until last year, all the 8 or 9 IIMs among the new and baby IIMs used to come under the umbrella of CAP. But this year they have split it. Some are under JAP, that is joint admission process, and some are under CAP, that is common admission process. But I have asked some of the friends who appeared for JAP interviews as well, and they have told me that most of the overall process that used to be conducted was very much similar to what it was earlier. However, there is one major difference that in JAP, you do not have to go for the written ability test. It's just the personal interview. However, in CAP, you do have to go for written ability test as well as the personal interview. Now, coming to my experience, my interview for CAP was scheduled last year in the month of February in Mumbai. So the first thing that they took us for was the written ability test. All of the candidates appearing for that day were taken together in a hall. It was not panel wise, and we were asked for the written ability test. The topic we were given was influencer marketing, a game changer or a short-lived trend. Like I always say, the topics for written ability test are very much influenced by whatever is currently going on around you. It can be from management related domain or it can be from current affairs, but the topics will be very much from your day-to-day lives. Now I am very sure anyone who is not even from the management domain knows about what influencer marketing is. So in this topic also, I followed a very similar approach that I always do. I explained the concept of influencer marketing, gave the pros, gave the cons, and finally my verdict. Like my verdict was yes, the influencer marketing is a game changer because with the growing trends of the social media, with the growing impact of social media on our day-to-day life, influencer marketing is here to stay. It's a game changer if employed properly. However, I did give some suggestions on how it can be made better with respect to the credibility aspect of it. So after this was done, we were taken to document verification room. For document verification, the process was very simple. We were asked to give our file to them. They were going through it and they were going through the files that we had submitted them, and it took barely 15 to 20 minutes. And after this, we were taken for our personal interview. We were asked to wait outside while one of the students among us was going in. So when my turn came, I was very nervous and I was actually expecting a lot of questions from current affairs and the states in which the IIMs are located and that kind of things. But when I went in, they asked me for my file. And while going through my file, they were pinpointing each and every subject from my civil engineering domain. Like, what did you learn from this subject? Or what was the overall view of yourself about these subjects? And then some surface level questions were also asked by them. Now, the issue was not with the surface level questions that they asked. The surface level questions that they were asking were followed by some application based concept, that how will you apply this concept. They were also giving me different scenarios, like in this particular scenario how will this concept be applied. And the thing is that I became so nervous at one point that some of the elective subjects I did not even remember I had taken. So they also asked me about that, what do you study in air pollution. So I was like, okay, but I was able to frame some answers to give them, and at some point I also said that okay, I do not remember exactly. Since I had experience of 3 years, the subjects I studied was way back, so I currently do not remember them, which was actually fine. So after this, the unexpected part, or the something that I did not anticipate at all. In my profile, I had the name of institute as Vishweshwaraya National Institute of Technology. So they took the word Vishweshwaraya from there and they asked me so many questions about it, like why was M. Vishweshwaraya awarded Bharat Ratna? What are his legendary works? Why is your institute named after him? So that kind of question. So this was really not anticipated by me. So one thing that I understood about the CAP interviews is that be very thorough with what your profile is. When you are handing them your file, make sure that you personally know everything that is there in the file with all the subjects of your undergraduation. When I say subjects, don't go for in-depth study. They will ask you surface level questions, but you should know that you had these subjects and what you learned in these subjects. And also make sure that you are able to apply the concepts, that the basic concept you learned in the subjects, you are able to apply them, because there will be questions on that. And also about if there is any keyword that they can catch up, make sure you are well researched about it, where you are well researched about what they can ask, and the better you will be able to anticipate this, the better your interview experience in this JAP and CAP interviews will be. So overall, my interpretation of this interview was that they are not just testing the knowledge you have, they are testing how well you know yourself. This is what they really want to know, whether you are well familiar with what you are showing about yourself. And one pro tip about these interviews that I would like to give you is, there will be a question at the end that what other interview calls you have, and if you have calls for some, let's say, older IIMs or some well established institutes, they will ask you about a dilemma, that if you are given an admission in, let's say, IIM Bangalore and IIM Bodh, so which one would you join? So the best practice under these questions is to answer these questions diplomatically. Just simply say that at this moment you are just targeting converting as many as institutes as you can, and after you have the final convert list is only when you will be able to make an informed decision about which institute you want to join. Frame this answer well, because this can be a make or break point of your interview. Furthermore, if you have any doubt about the CAP or JAP interviews, do let me know in the comment section. I will be more than happy to address them. And if you like this video, do like, share and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next videos. Thank you.